My name is Doug Gilworth, and I've studied and taught the Bible for over 50 years. Over the last 10 years, I've focused primarily upon prophecy and end times events. I've learned something astounding, and I want to impart that to you. And it's similar to what Daniel saw in Daniel chapter 9, where he declared, I understood by books the number of the years. Now, what Daniel was speaking of there was his understanding from Jeremiah's prophecy of the 70 years, that Israel would be in captivity to the nation Babylon for 70 years. And at the end of 70 years, Israel would receive something good, and Babylon would receive something bad. And those prophecies, Daniel understood that a few years before they were fulfilled. And they were fulfilled to the T. Israel received a proclamation from Cyrus upon his conquest of Babylon that Israel would be allowed to return to Jerusalem and rebuild. They received that decree. They did not act upon it for several years, but they received the decree the moment that Cyrus, or very quickly after Cyrus conquered Babylon. And Babylon, the bad news for them was that they were conquered by the Persians. Now, it's really amazing that an Old Testament scholar could have also understood by books the number of years that Messiah would have been killed. Messiah the Prince, Daniel speaks of being cut off in his 70 weeks prophecy. So an Old Testament scholar, and there were a couple of other prophecies that made it evident that the Messiah was going to die. And from Daniel's prophecy of the 70 weeks, a scholar could have calculated forward and determined exactly when exactly the year that Messiah was going to die. Now, it would have been difficult, but it was sure possible. Now, we have no evidence that anybody did, that anybody even made any claims to that, but it would have been possible. What I'm telling you is that I have understood by books the number of the years, and I believe the apocalypse is right at the threshold. The time is at hand, and everybody today understands that there's something going on with the climate change, with the political unrest, the many movies, the many TV shows, the many books, the many commentaries on the apocalypse, the end times, way more than ever before in history. And everybody sees that there's something going on. And I want to take you step by step through what I've seen in prophecy. And now I want to, this is also to promote my two books, the Mystery of the Seven Golden Candlesticks and the Traveler's Timetable to the Tribulation Transition, what I call the Book of the Seven T's. And most of the things from these clips will come from that second book, the Traveler's Timetable to the Tribulation Transition. Both of those books are available on Amazon. Doug Gilworth, the author. Please get those books, because they will give in much more detail what we're going to talk about in these clips. Like I say, I'm going to try and step you through in these 4 to 6 minute clips, just the very basics of what I'm talking about. But the time is at hand. Please don't stick your head in the sand. Please try to understand. Much is given in the Bible, details about the end time, and the apocalyptic time, what's called the tribulation, what I call the tribulation transition, a few short number of years, and we will not know exactly how many years those are, but we will know somewhat close. But the beginning of those terrible, terrible times, what's called the wrath of God, what's called the time of his indignation, justice upon the earth, many terms that is used for this short period of time. In fact, more is spoken of this single event than any other event other than the gospel story. So with all the details about this future time that is right at the door, why wouldn't we want to be aware of what's going to happen? Terrible, terrible time on earth, great and grand gatherings in heaven, detailed for us in the book of Revelation and other prophetic scriptures. Please check out the 4 to 6 minute clips in order and get the books.